I haven't heard a peep or caught a glance of that mouse in days and days. What's up with that? You're probably thinking to yourself, well, isn't that a good thing, Laura? Well, theoretically, it's a good thing, but it's also a little disconcerting because what happened to it? And like I said, my mom's going to have some major decisions to make. It's very expensive to have to sign up for a wildlife removal service thing. It takes place over the span of a couple of weeks. And I don't know. Just everything in this life involves decisions, you know. You if you can even afford to go the expensive route, which my mom can. I mean, technically she can. So you have to choose a lot of the times whether or not you want to go the expensive or cheaper route when it comes to things like this. And I don't have the answers. I've never dealt with this before, neither has my mom. But I did tell her, don't let these people, this person, pressure you, Mom. I don't like that anyway. It's going to turn me off if it turns Joe off too. When he's had people look, remember he owns a home, a modest home, but a home, you know, lives there alone. And I get the feeling, just like I've said, even if deep down it makes him sad, you know, he probably has accepted that he's probably, you know, likely going to be alone for the rest of his life. But that's the case with a lot of people, you know, who, you know, people wind up widowed or divorced or whatever, and they just never find someone again, you know. Joe's on a higher plane mentally of existence. He doesn't even try to date or anything like that. He dip his feet in the water, which I had been doing until I experienced a nightmare of that guy, you know, whose house I suppose I shouldn't have been at in the first place, but who I periodically met in person a few times over the past few years. And, you know, just to intentionally scare me and talk about how he could kill me right now and put my body in his freezer and get away with it by using the insanity defense. He told you he's not stupid, he's just... And that set me back in the fear department, you know. I can guarantee you there's loads of people now because this, what happened to that college student, Samantha. You know, she didn't bother doing the security checks. I'm sure there's tons of people now afraid of taking Ubers and Lyfts, and then they have this thing with the name, you know, ask me my name. But if Joe's right about the Anunnaki and the Archons and what, I don't know, demonic influences could cause, or just pure dumb luck, could cause a psychopath to guess your name correctly. See how smart I am? Smart, like I said, smart and aware. Yet treated like total crap by certain professionals in my elderly mentally in mom's life. Just like, you know, treated like crap and disrespected continuously by her bullshit. wasn't she, you know, her phony, two-faced, whatever sister. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I was thinking that because I think about things like that. You know, that what's my name is great, but pure dumb luck could cause that person who wants to kill you or hurt you or rape you, um, to guess your name correctly. It could happen. Anything could happen. That man who was, you know, some people would say kind of a loser in this life, living off his wife for the 15 years. You know, they said he never had a steady job in the 15 years. She supported him, and when they divorced, she's expected to give him alimony, and then he wins 273 million in the lottery, several months after they get divorced. And people think, oh, she's entitled. She's not entitled to a penny. She doesn't want a penny. And but she said she was cool as hell. She's like, but I would like to not have to pay alimony to him. Well, no shit, you shouldn't have to. I hope after this you don't have to, you know. I'm just saying, weird things happen in this life, okay? And a psychopath pretending to be an Uber or Lyft driver, rideshare driver, could correctly guess your name, you know. So you're much better off to go the extra mile and compare what you're given in your little thing to the make and model of the car and the license plate. All right. But, you know, like in the case of Samantha, she'd been partying and she did the responsible thing. She had her car, but she didn't want to get behind the wheel and drive. And it cost her life not being vigilant and not asking this guy anything, just getting in. I'm sure she was shit-faced, and she got in, and she was stabbed to death, helpless, in the back seat of his vehicle. And was he, could he have been just mentally deranged? Possibly. I guess the facts of the case will come out, whether or not, you know. You're mentally deranged or just evil. And when he stopped, there was a woman in his car who's a friend. And you go online, and as usual, people are saying, I can't believe his family or friend. I can't believe he did this. What he's being accused of. I can't believe it. Well, Samantha's blood and cell phone were found in his car, so it's pretty cut and dry, you know. Anyway, that What's My Name campaign is great, but it's not enough. You really should, if you take these ride shares, which I don't do it, but I was gonna do it, and I didn't like the idea of the surge in your area, and you might have to pay a lot more, and I was gonna do it to visit my mom in the hospital that time, when she coincidentally suffered from some sort of what they suspected seizure just a couple of days after she landed in the lovely mental health facility for the third time in the last few years, and, you know, for the second time lands in the emergency shortly after the doctor in there, you know, puts her on a medication. In this case, it was, you know, she'd never been on in her life, and what I find out after the fact when I go and research it online, you know, was a pretty high dosage of Thorazine to start my elderly mentally ill mom on, you know, who's already on a shitload of other psych meds, you know, but that doesn't matter. Guinea pigs, that's all they are. Anyway, I had thought about doing that, the Uber or whatever, and then I didn't like the fact that you're not guaranteed, at least with a taxi you can call, some of them will give you set rates, flat rates, but in any case, even if they don't, it's like, well, it's this much per mile and this many miles, and you go on about Uber and they say, well, there can be surges in your area at any moment, and you have no idea what it's really going to cost until you're in the car. And then I research and find out, well, these things were not really set up to be cheaper than taxis. They're set up to be more convenient, blah, 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 blah. And you can pay for it with your credit, yeah, whatever. And a lot of people sue him. But this guy does no previous, no criminal, nothing in his record whatsoever. So he's one of those who just suddenly decides to kill somebody. Randomly. I don't understand. But I will understand because you don't have that mentality. That's what Joe was saying. It's like, yeah, because, but when I say it about anything, because you don't, because you aren't them, Laura, because you don't think like them, because you know, like, I'm not even talking about killers or psychos or whatever. I'm just talking about all kinds of things. So, the Killers were on Jimmy Kimmel the other night, and I'm listening to their song, and instantly knowing why he chose them to perform or whatever. They have a song called In the Land of the Free, and one of the lines is about how all these hundreds of thousands of migrants, I call them immigrants, I used to call them migrants, wanting to come to our country. Well, they just want what we have. They just want a better life for their. Yeah, I know. I get it. I get it. Okay. I get it. But the thing is, even mainstream news, okay, they might negate it and discard it, and you know, but they do mention that our borders are being, they can't handle, they can't process all these people. They're being overwhelmed, okay? That is reality. They are being overwhelmed. And even mainstream news will say, well, last month there was 70,000 people wanting to get into our country from other countries, and this month it's 95. You know what I mean? It keeps going up and up and up. So that's just a really trite thing for the Killers. Well, they just, all these people, it's, you know, you're just being non-compassionate. They just want the life we have. They're being turned away, but they just want a better life, you know, for their families, and, you know, and it's not that simple, not even remotely, okay? Everyone acts like Trump is so evil to want to do this or that or whatever, but there's millions of people on his side, you know, who share his beliefs, who believe that, and again, even mainstream news, even though they make light of it, they will mention the increasing number of migrants who want to come into our country, and we don't have the capacity to process them all. We are being overwhelmed, okay? And it's so easy for a rich, famous rock and roll star to be like, well, you know, they're trying to, you know, we want to put up, they just want what's for our best for their family. They just want what we have, and da da da, you know. And then there are people saying, again, but other people making Trump out to be evil, that not to give any more aid to these countries because so many hundreds of thousands of their citizens want to come to our country. So obviously, whatever aid we're providing to these countries isn't helping, isn't working. All these people want to leave, you know. That's a slippery slope too, as is Trump's threat to close down the borders, because it'll really hurt a lot of people economically, and that's not right either. I don't know what the solution is, but despite not knowing what the solution is, I certainly recognize exactly what this famous rock group, the Killers, is doing with their little In the Land of the Free song. Propaganda. See right through that shit. because I actually put closed captions on and listened to the lyrics. I don't want to be talking and have this shut off and I don't know it. This has happened to me before. I haven't delved into this camera. As soon as I at least realize it creates good video, but I haven't delved into how to set the timer and things like that. I haven't taken any pictures on it either. Joining rooms. One of those places all the time. She has a rich, unlike me, has a rich, fulfilling life. She knows how fulfilling it is, but she definitely has an active life, which is good. So don't just, slip away into nothing. It's important to be active and social. When you're older. Feeling when she tries again for the third time to have her cataract surgery, nothing will prevent it from happening. Every time you schedule, you have to wait months, many months. Not a million, but to get it again. So you just never know what's going to happen. It prevents. It's the nature of this life. I can't believe this. Am I? Stopped taking the light bulbs out of that dining room chandelier light because my mom was remembering to never turn it on and shine it. It shines directly when you're sleeping. But today she forgot. She had to go somewhere and she woke up late. She just forgot. At least I haven't been up all night, but I do want to go. Made some soup. Just half-ass soup in a crock pot last night. I'm trying to limit cooking on the stove. The whole idea of cooking on the stove. There's a mouse living in there and I don't even know what happened to it. I haven't run the oven, so I'm sure. You turn on the burner, the mouse isn't gonna, the burner takes time to, it's an electric stove, the burner takes time to heat up, and as soon as the mouse felt the least bit of heat under one stupid burner, the mouse is gonna run away and still be alive, it's just, that mouse that I read about online that burned up inside of the oven, that's because there's nowhere to run, you preheat the oven. Probably nowhere to run, but stupid little burner. Yeah. I don't know. mouse could have died of natural causes. Of course, when I talked to the woman, wildlife removal service receptionist on the phone, I'm going to say, well, I've only seen one mouse. She's like, there's always more. But you know what? And there's always exceptions to the so-called rule. There might not be more. There might not be more. I've only seen one. Yeah, but did you put dye on its head? No. I told my mom that, and she took it literally. She's like, what do you mean putting dye on the mouse's head? I'm like, Mom, it's a joke. It's being sarcastic, the woman, you know. That I don't know that it's the same mouse that I keep, that we see it could be different ones. I didn't mark it. Anyway, back to pressure. Joe doesn't like that. He had someone that came and is like, well, I can give you you need to do this right now, or I can give you a real good deal if you do it right now. And Joe's like, no. He's not going to be pressured on the spot. He doesn't like that. I don't like it either. I know my mom was easily influenced, so I told her, no matter what this person says, just tell him we need to discuss this privately and we'll get back to you. It's a big decision. It's not, a couple $100 for an exterminator. It's expensive. And is it necessary? I don't know. In the long run, if we don't allow the mouse got in. And then she says it takes only 45 minutes. Like, how do they search the whole place top to bottom, including if you have attics, which we don't, but we have the underneath the house? Like, is the person going to go under there? It's going to take way more than 45 minutes. This isn't the person that actually does the stuff. They're called technicians. This is just the inspector who's going to search and probably try to convince us that, needs to pay nearly $1,000. I told them, there might be a lesser thing, that might be the industrial thing, but maybe there's something that's lower cost. But they're going to want to try to convince you to get the package that's the most expensive. Maybe they have other so-called packages. I don't know. Again, never dealt with this before, and I feel like it was fate that I got such good footage for the span of hours Saturday night.